Hey, good morning, Mo. I'm ugly as shit, though. Hey, nah, what's up with y'all, man? I'm just right here pulling out, man. Live from the bed, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how it is, man. You know, I just woke up and shit. And before I get to my Hoodzndnewz Instagram shit, I just say, fuck it, I'm going to just tell part 3, right? I recorded the video yesterday, and I was actually going to upload it, but I just say, fuck it, I'm going to do it over because it was like a lot of missing things that I ain't saying the joint. So I'm going to talk about the time that 18TH-N-D beat the whole Gogo. Like, really, like, beat the whole Gogo. So, Hoodzndnewz versus E Street Part 3. Now, if you don't know what 18TH-N-D is, 18TH-N-D is, like, the same neighborhood, for real. It's basically the 1800 block of D Street. When you say E Street, you're really talking about, like, the 16th Street area, like, from, like, Bennett Road to, like, E Street and a little bit below that. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. So, like, you know, so remember when I was telling you something called the Red Zone honeys and shit? Basically, the Red Zone was, like, it's basically initials for, like, the same neighborhood. So you have Rosedale, which is by like 19th like 19th Street area, like right by Rosedale Rec and shit like that, like 19th and 20th and shit like that. Then you have 18th-N-D, which is basically Rosedale for real. It's basically Rosedale. I don't know. It's Rosedale, but they own shit, like like they own shit. So and then you got motherfucking what I'm about to say. And then you got E Street on 60th and E. This all these neighborhoods are connected. Like they're the same hoods, you know what I'm saying? And then you kind of could add in a minute in there, because they're kind of like E Street affiliated, which is like 13th and that's what I Am Northeast. I Am Northeast is from in a minute, which is like 13th, 14th Street area, like right by E Street, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of add them in that red zone, dare zone. They call it, the younger generation calls it the dare zone, but you know what I'm saying? You know, Fat Trell raps a lot about that, like in one of his, like, his music videos and shit, like, so, whatever. So, long story short, so 18th-N-D is, like, the same neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not gonna lie, 18th-N-D is a little, like, the whole E Street Road, all that shit is aggressive, but them 18th-N-D niggas was aggressive, like, they was aggressive, they was very aggressive, but, like, I'm gonna tell you why. So, basically, like, you know what I'm saying? And just before I go, it's just like how you, like, if you went to the Chicago drill scene, you know, like 63rd is like basically like 3-4 different hoods. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's 3-4 different hoods, but it's like the same neighborhood for real. So like you got, like, if you're not from out of town, like if you're from out of town, or like just kind of describing it, like if you're in that Chicago drill, you're like watching that shit. So it's like you got Gyro and Taekwondo World and fucking STL, EBT. Like it's all that shit's the same thing, but they just claim different shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like that's better that's the DC version of describing it. I'm not saying, you know, E Street's from 63rd or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know, y'all be fan the fuck out. But long story short, we gonna get straight to the story. So basically, it was a popular Gogo uptown called the Love TV, right? You know what I'm saying? Love TV, if you know what I'm saying, if you from uptown, or if you used to just come uptown, it was also known as the G Spot too. It was located on Georgia Avenue now, right there where the Papa John's is at now. But back in the day, that was a club. Literally, this was the smallest Go-Go ever. Smaller than the Market Lounge, smaller than a lot of clubs that people used to do Go-Go's at, you know what I'm saying? But this was like the smallest thing, was literally the size of a living room, right? That was small as shit. So mostly local bands, like local neighborhood bands, with like small bands, would do shows that at one point motherfuckers ain't like going up there, because that was like the KDY club, right? You know what I'm saying? And like I went there one time, like at 05, like, because we just didn't want to go back to the Neon and keep getting stranded and shit. So we just went there one time, and we almost got jumped by like 20 KDY niggas and shit like that. But long story short, we end up like going back like a year later, and I was already living in that neighborhood now. Like I never mentioned, you know, I grew up with my mother on Elm Street around the way and shit, but like but my second home is like Tacoma a little bit, like up the street from Rent House. Aspen Courts was around the corner. I was down the street from Shovel Park. So like that whole little area right there, that up top side, like I was kind of like grew up around there a little bit too, you know what I'm saying? So I have a lot of relationships with people from Rent House, KDY, Missouri Ave, 13th Place, motherfucking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a lot of relationships, you know what I'm saying? Even like the block I lived around, that was like, they used to be kind of like a hood, like a little bit. It wasn't a hood, it was like a crew, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not really hood, but It's like a little crew called 6500. And they used to roll with Aspen Course and shit, or I don't know. They sometimes they'll get into it with them niggas. But my brother's from around there, you know what I'm saying? Like Safeway Mob and shit, you know what I'm saying? So Piney Branch Road, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, my brother claimed that, you know what I'm saying, back in the 90s and shit. So, but just to get back into it though, so shout out to the Tacoma side, you know what I'm saying? DC side's Tacoma. Shout out to Tacoma Park, Maryland. But whole time, what I'm about to say. All right, so we goes back to, so, you know, back and forth every weekend. I would go to Love TV every weekend, go to Love TV. And I think I was going because Fully Loaded was playing. Fully Loaded was like one of my favorite bands too. Fully Loaded, True Expressions, Ivy. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and Game Over, the original Game Over too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like a lot of little low-key bands, but what happened was Reaction would headline every week. You know what I'm saying? They would headline like every Friday, so the joint would be job like lit though. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think so whole time I think they said Reaction was going to stop playing it. I guess it was playing somewhere else on Friday. So really the only headliners was like I think did KLB just break up? Yeah, I think KLB had just broke up. So, you know, that was one of the biggest bands uptown. Like KLB, like a lot of people will be thinking like, oh, they think like TLB, like, ah ha ha, we laughing at you bitches. They think KLB was just some bums. Nah, KLB was a really big band uptown. So like motherfuckers don't even get that shit. But back to the story though. So yeah, KLB was not KLB broke up. So mostly it was True Expressions, IB, Fully Loaded. Like I remember that shit. All right. So long story short, also my man from like Rock Creek and 35, they had a band called like True Mission and shit. So I wanted to check them out and shit. So they said they was performing there. They usually play at the Teen Cafe down like a little down the street on the avenue and shit, like on Georgia and Upshur, like between Georgia and Upshur and shit like that. So they said they was playing up there this week, so I'm definitely gonna pull up. So long story short, just to get back into it, right? We so me and JR get up there. I remember I was wearing like a white, I don't know, it was like that weird bandana phase where everybody wanted to look like a skateboarder a little bit. Like you remember the what's that shit called? Like the Pharrell Star Trek skateboard look with the bandana on your neck. That's what I was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to do it, but I failed miserably. I was a really I was a Bama like shit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't broke. You know what I'm saying? At the time I was working. I had a job. I was like 16 at the time. I had a job. I was just a Bama. Like I just couldn't dress at all. Like ugh. You know what I'm saying? But like real life, I went through a Jeezy trap phase with the glasses and the snowman shirt and the big ass black shirt with the snow on it and the black, and just wearing all black everything, selling fake Reggie weed and shit. Like I was just a cold man, bro. Went through the Dipset phase, all pink with the bands. I even went through a rockstar gothic phase. Like I was really just trying to find myself. Like even as an adult, I was trying to find myself. So it was just like you know what I'm saying. But like now, it was just like I look back at that shit, I'd be like, what the fuck, Slim? So long story short, so I keep saying long story short. That should be long as shit though. Oh, but no, man, we gonna get right back to it. So we go to Love TV, right? Man, shout out to Mr. and Miss Rashad, you know what I'm saying? They were the best club owners, Gogo club owners ever, you know what I'm saying? They taught me a lot, you know, early, because, you know, I do Go-Go's and shit, so I learned a lot from him, you know what I'm saying? How that shit rolled, watching him and shit like that, so, you know what I'm saying? Condolences, because, you know, they just lost, you know, lost a family, you know, a family member. I ain't gonna get detail of that, but basically, I was in the back of the Love TV, and they was arguing with a nigga from Fully Loaded. I think, or he was, I don't know what the argument was about, but I just know me and JR was right there, and all I know is JR was saying, East Street in here. I'm like, but, you know, I still brought him along, because I knew Fully Loaded was like a half East Street band, half, like, it was like a half no fees, had like a little bit of Maryland, and the lead mic was from uptown, which was, shout out my nigga Mike, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Hefe, you know what I'm saying, that's my nigga right there, yo. You know what I'm saying, like, but that was one of my favorite bands, so I wanted to go see him, and I'm thinking like, I ain't about to start none of that, no Go-Go, no hood beef shit, you know what I'm saying, because I seen him play in front of 21st niggas, you know what I'm saying, I'm thinking like, he good, like, they ain't about to think nothing of that shit, so they already played, and they got to an argument with, you know what I'm saying, whatever, so all I know is, one of the niggas said, man, if y'all don't I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. So I'm looking at JR. He ain't pointing at JR. He pointing at me. Telling some, yeah, I'm gonna beat the shit out you. I'm like, beat the shit out of me. Yeah, we gonna jump your bitch ass. I'm like, I say, Slim, do I know? Like, I'm like, I ain't even say nothing at first. I'm like, because, you know me, like, it's not that I'm not a reactionary type of nigga. Like, I don't react. I only react when somebody does physical harm with me. So when somebody tell me something, it has to process in my brain. Like, I have to think about it. Like, I really be on some Jeopardy. Do. I don't know. Maybe it's the slow nigga in me or something. But long story short, man. Long story short. Like, I really had to sit there and think about it. Like, why? Who the fuck is this nigga? I ain't this nigga. I ain't never get into it with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't even know this nigga. Maybe I did get into it. Maybe he was one of the niggas that ran out the Pentacles or something. I don't know this nigga, but I don't know, bro. So, long story short, we get there and shit, right? We get there and shit. We get inside. I'm still confused. So I walk right back outside, like. So he was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I don't know. I just walked back outside. I said, bro, do I, bro, do I know you or something? Like, they started, like, getting a little aggressive and shit. I'm just kind of questioning, like, I don't know y'all. Like, where I know y'all from? I don't know y'all. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Like, why would you want to beat the shit out of me? Like, I don't know if the nigga saw the bitch-ass nigga in my face. I mean, probably was some bitch-ass nigga in my face, but I just didn't understand why he just wanted to beat the shit out of me randomly. He don't even know me. Like, fuck, is like, who is me? Like, I'm just saying, like, but, long story short, security, because they, you know, they had love for me in Love TV, so the security and the owner was just like, man, just go in the club real quick. They pushed me in the back. So shout out my nigga Trey, True Expressions too, you know what I'm saying? Like, he showed he was a good man for real. So long story short, like, you know, Trey, he got like from that East side, so he was just like, I guess he was talking to the niggas like, nah, that's my people's, like, he good, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, all right, cool. He good, all right, we gonna leave him alone, cool, let that shit go, right? Long story short, I'm in the club. The vibe just felt off. So JR said, hey, bro, I might have just rolled, bro. I don't feel right. I'm like, yeah, you right, bro. I feel you, bro. Just go ahead and roll home, bro. Like, usually I be bitching like, bro, just stay here, man, party with us, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that shit. I got your back, bro. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I just felt like the vibe was off. But I stayed though. He left. I gave him some money. He got on the bus. He rode, right? I don't even think he went home. I think he went to go fuck with some bitches down Kennedy and shit. So, long story short, I'm still in the club, and all I remember was it was this slum ass VA band called COB. I remember today, these niggas slum like shit. Shout out my highway niggas, shout out Seven Woods, but I remember this band Pacific because they lead Mike was from Maryland. They was from Capitol Heights, but the rest of the band was from Seven Woods. They was from the highway. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was COB. I know it wasn't CIB. It was definitely COB or some shit. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like KIB. It was some shit like that. This niggas some shit. They were talking, we get you wet. And it ain't but bounce right. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just shit slum. You know what I'm saying? The whole time. So long story short, True Missions get on. They was all right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know, they had to roll out, you know, some politics, but I ain't gonna get into the details of that. But like, yeah, so long story short, I'm trying to think. It really was only like 20, 25 people that night. It was a dry night, you know what I'm saying? Ever since like Reaction stopped playing up there, it really wasn't as lit as it was, you know what I'm saying? I mean, nah, I ain't gonna lie, True Expressions used to have that joint lit. KOB, when they was still out, they had that bit. Definitely KOB definitely had Love TV lit. But like, motherfucker, True Expressions had it lit. Shout out to IEB, you know, all that other good shit, right? So, back to the story. So yeah. Shout out my True Expressions, the IB niggas, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, free Holly boy, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, man, we gonna get right back to it, right? So, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to get right back to it. I'm trying to think. So all I know was I'm in a club, right? So somebody just said, Reaction playing. Like, Reaction playing? Yeah, Reaction playing, bro. Oh, shit, man, I'm about to stay there. Yeah, because I was about to roll, but then I was like, man, fuck it, I'm about to stay there because Reaction about to play. Cool. So Reaction get on. So Reaction pull up out of nowhere. And next minute, they bring 25, 30, 18th-N-D niggas, bro. All of them paid full price. Now, I forgot to tell you, the whole True Missions didn't leave. Half the band was still there, right? And I just remember, like, half the band was still there. And I remember it was two niggas, and one of them was my man. He ended up being a cool-ass nigga, too. He was from 21st. It was two niggas from 21st. And then, like, I just remember they was in there, and I'm thinking in my head, damn, 18th-N-D in here, they deep as shit. And it's 221st niggas. And all I can see is they pointing at bruh, like, yeah, ain't that? And I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go down. I'm looking like, oh my God, I'm trying like, damn. So all I could think about was the niggas earlier trying to start some shit with me. So I'm thinking like maybe they gonna switch the mood up when shit get real or whatever. I don't know. But long story short, they in their reaction play. So as soon as reaction started playing, they started playing, you know what I'm saying? They started playing my shit too, man. They was cranking like a motherfucker. The next minute, they was like, can't you, 18th-N-D had their own little slang, like, you fucking with my niggas from that 18th-N-D, can't you see, you fucking with my niggas from that 18th-N-D, 18th-N-D. So the next minute, all I know is they just got right behind, bro. But this, I ain't gonna lie though, the 221st niggas, man, they wasn't going like that. When they was doing all that, they was putting up their little 21st sign. They wasn't rocking though. I ain't gonna lie, they wasn't rocking at all. So next minute, all I know is they ran up behind, bruh. They ran up right behind bruh and was like, they was like, yeah, what's up with you? What's up with your bitch? Hey, they got up behind them niggas quick as shit, and it just started whooping the shit out of them niggas, bruh. They whooped them. They started jumping the True Mission band members and shit because they was fighting with them. They was like, nah, I ain't going like that. Like, that's how I meant. So they was fighting, but they was just, the club was outnumbered because you got to think about it. They just ran up at the club like 30, they just ran in the club like 30 deep. There's only like 20 people in the club. So next one, they just started like just beating the shit out of everybody. And I just remember this to today. It was this one little female giant. It was a little female giant. It was two female giants. I remember they was talking about they were from Chopper City Honeys. Now I remember I told you in my last video, Chopper City and East Street had their own little issues and shit too. But I swear to God, these two girls, they was rapping Chopper City the whole night, right? They was rapping Chopper City the whole motherfucking night, man. I swear to God, one of them niggas just came up and just slapped the shit out of one of the females. And the other girl, and I went to school with one of them and shit, but like she slapped the shit out of one of the girls, and like broke her teeth out and all that shit. Talking some that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like in today's words, he'd probably be like, you op ass bitch, but he was like, you know what I'm saying, Chopper City ass. He probably said some shit like that and just stole the shit out of shorty and broke. She was just sitting there crying and shit. I ain't never seen them two claim Chopper City ever again. Never, ever, ever. Never. Like, but long story short, they just started getting the motherfucking whooping niggas. Wow, 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 wow. They whooping, you know what I'm saying? It's just everything happened so fast. I'm like, what the fuck going on? So all I know is a nigga just came up on me, right? Oh, I forgot this. I'm gonna get to this. So a nigga just came up on me and said something. You want this ass whooping? He said, what's up with you? Want smoke, nigga? And he like, I could just tell he was on some drugs. Like, the nigga was just like, motherfucking, like, just serious as shit. I'm talking about slide coming out of his mouth. Like, and you know, back in the days, like, E-pill was serious. Like, everybody was on E-pills and shit real heavy. So, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to fuck with a nigga off the E-pill. The nigga get extra strong and confident and shit. So I'm like, I don't think I want to smoke with this nigga. I'm sitting in the corner like, I'm looking at the VA niggas that played that slum ass band looking like them. They look shocked. They look like they never seen no shit like this ever in their life. Like, what the fuck really going on? So I look at the VA niggas like, nah, I'm from VA, bro. I set my ass right in that corner. Like, nah, I don't want no smoke. And all I can see is one of the little 21st niggas like, man, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro got crushed. I ain't even gonna lie, bro got whooped. I felt so bad. That was the reason why bro ran up on me, because I ain't want to jump in the fight. I just wanted to save, bro. I just wanted to grab, bro. Like, come on, bro. Don't do that, man, like that. Literally, they was kicking that nigga head, and his head was just bouncing like a basketball. Boom, boom, boom. Then they just punt that nigga face. I'm talking about they arcade. They Randy Orton punt that nigga in the face. Boom. And this is like winter time, y'all. Like, so it's like niggas got Nike boots on and all type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been jumped with niggas with Nike boots. That shit hurts. So imagine you doing that shit, you can't even cover your head. At least I covered my head. Like, that nigga was getting fucked. I swear to God, I thought that nigga was dead, bro. All I know is they ran out the club. Nah, they ran out the club. Boom, boom. So all, like, everybody else got up like, nah, we about to go whoop these niggas, bro. Y'all got me fucked up. So niggas just ran out the club, getting ready to go fight again, right? They get ready to go fight. So all I know is, all we heard was a car just skirted around and shit, right? So all I know is, motherfucking, everybody just ran right back in the club. Everybody just ran back in the club and shut the door, put the table on the door and shit. Larry from Reaction, bro. The original Reaction, Larry, bro. I ain't gonna, like I say, I gotta tell the story as truthful as I can, bro. All I see is Larry hiding under a table. I saw Larry hiding under the table. Though. I fuck with bro though. Like he got a good little promotion team and shit. Like, but he was hiding under the table, scared and shit. He ain't know what the fuck. But you gotta think about it. Like we thought the motherfucker was about to. I thought them niggas came back and just like by the boom boom boom. But it ended up not being them. Ended up being Mr. Rashad. He was just on some dramatic shit. Like you know what I'm saying. So long story short, he tried to make sure we was safe and protected. So you know what I'm saying. He you know what I'm saying. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but. All I know is the nigga was knocked the fuck. I'm telling you, that nigga was purple, bro. He was a light-skinned nigga, too. He was a short, light-skinned nigga. I swear to this day. Purple. Like, his eyes was both black. His face was, like, purple and red, bro. And everybody was like, bro, wake up, bro. Wake up, bro. Wake up, bro. I remember it was this big, tall, gay nigga, though. You know, he probably was his relative or something like that. He picked the nigga up. He just picked that nigga up, like, strong as shit. And the nigga body was just dangling, though. I was like, damn. Like, yeah, it went on. But I'm gonna keep it 100. I ain't not want no part of that ass when I saw niggas get demolished in that jump. And I don't know what that short nigga did that got that jump like that, but he must have did some crazy shit. But long story short, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of found out my J.R. told me that he saw him like about a week later. He said his face was like basically like in a cast and shit, but he lived though. But that nigga could have died that night, bro. Like real live, like that nigga couldn't die for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad he was all right. But yeah, that was a crazy ass night. Like, you know what I'm saying? That could have been me too. I ain't gonna lie to you. that could have been me. But yeah, that's just one of my little stories, man. I got part 4. Part 4 is actually, I think part 4 might be the finale. You know what I'm saying? It might be the actual finale of that. Then we're gonna get to the next segment of my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? The next chapters of my life, man. But y'all tell me, y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all tell me what y'all think, man. We gone.